and welcome back to another edition of Chatting with Chip with Barton College football head coach Chip Hester. I am Wilson Times sports editor to Paul Durham. Off camera, Coach, you're in the hot seat today, and let's talk about the game on Saturday. A little bit of a tough game for you guys. Got out to a good start, up 19-6 at Mars Hill, and that ended up being a 40-32 loss, dropping you guys back to 3-3. And, Coach, I just wanted to, we talked about this before. Saturday's game was one that Barton played certainly well enough to win. But you guys also played poorly enough to lose, poorly enough at times to lose, and that's what happened. It's sort of a case in point of what I'm saying is the offense rolled up 458 yards, which I believe is the second most probably in program history. Certainly in the 2 seasons that you've been here since we've revived the program here in Wilson. But then in 4 straight second half possessions, you guys managed just 57 yards. Paradox. Just want to get your thoughts on how it was the good and the bad and the ugly, literally all in one game, and how you guys came up short.
Yeah, no question. It was frustrating in a lot of ways because I do think we did some good things, and I think you got to give Mars Hill a lot of credit. They were experienced football team, and they had I think as you look back at the game, there are 2 really huge plays in that game. And the momentum shifts, and one is a fake punt that they get a first down by just about a yard, so that's a huge deal. You lose a possession, and momentum slips on the other sideline, and then a couple series later, you get a punt blocked, and basically you give them a touchdown. They score on the next play, so those are critical deals in the special teams. We talk all the time about being able to rush the football. That was a little bit of a struggle, but it was, I think we're doing a good enough job rushing the football that people are going to change their tactics a little bit, and we ended up getting a front that we hadn't seen, and so we were able to hit some big plays, but we had to start throwing the football a little bit, and so we're not built for that quite yet. We're not efficient enough throwing the football, and so it's something that we're going to have to test. I know that we're going to have to pass in the future because teams are going to use that blueprint to try to stop us in our running game, and that puts some pressure on us in our passing game, and I don't think we're mature as a passing team yet. So again, a lot of that's stuff that we can do, and we can get more efficient in different aspects of our offense, and then it's also a credit to a good defensive team. I thought their defensive front, we played some really good ones, and we've talked about that. But I think that they were as good as any that we've played, and maybe the most physical front that we played all year.
Absolutely, Coach. I think Mars Hill definitely. I mean, they play like a team that's 4-2. They are off to their best start since 2012, and they showed it. I don't know if they're as good a team, but they played as good a team, as good as any team y'all have played so far. Back to, I know this is a sore subject, but, it's funny when you brought it up about a year ago, probably 2 years ago, what keeps you up at night? You said special teams. I kind of laughed then. I understand now. You've really had a struggle with that, and it's sort of been masked, I think, throughout. You even resorted to kicking off out of bounds because your reason you're saving yards, because your kick coverage team is really struggling. It's kind of hard to figure out how that works. But that's just overall part of special teams. Like you said, you had a block punt. It was actually in the 4th quarter. Instead of first and goal at the 1 they scored. That's the difference in the game.
Absolutely.
The fake punt, they went down and scored. That's the difference in the game. You guys lost by 8. I don't know if you have an answer to this, but what is the big fix for special teams right now? How do you repair a separate units? Because you're talking about 6 different teams, I guess.
Good question.
What do you do to fix it?
Yeah, and I think add to that, and I think it's a huge point is our starting field position and our opponent's starting field position is drastically different. So we're starting our possessions on an uphill climb and our opponents on a downhill decline. So we've got to address it, and I think the thing that's probably the most challenging is that it's hard to practice special teams full go in practice. And so, every game that we play, I think, is good experience. We need our kickers to kick it well. I thought they made some progress this weekend, and I thought Bear Huggins kicked the ball really well. He located it well, so that's part of it. And then we've got to be disciplined in our lanes on kickoff team, and then on punt team. We have a couple of defensive linemen go down, and they're part of our shield, and so we got new guys in that don't have as many reps, and it's not a big deal, but until it is, and so to credit Mars Hill, they attacked our shield and got through, and probably we took a little bit too much time getting the ball off. So again, we'll have to, as a coaching staff, continue to try to look at what we're doing and who we're doing it with, and put ourselves in the best position to win. And I think, as painful as these special teams experiences are for us right now, I think they're learning experiences, and it's something that we're gonna, and we have been working really hard on, and we'll continue to do so, and try to put ourselves in a better position, because it's one of those key things that we talk about: winning the rushing game, winning the turnover battle, and winning the kicking game. And we are not winning the kicking game right now, and quite frankly, it's costing us ball games at this point.
Absolutely, and it's really no fault of your kickers themselves. They've done a good job. But special teams is that thing where, as long as you don't notice it, it means you're doing a good job. It's like umpiring. The umpires always say, if nobody notices me, we've done a good job. And I think that's the key. You don't want to have to come back and talk about special teams unless you score a touchdown that way. Then it's a good thing. Coach, back to one other thing. You had talked about the passing game, how you guys were not really built to throw the ball that way. But I would say you kind of proved that you were on Saturday, at least for Saturday. Really a big game, the game you kind of wanted to see from Jaquan. He was 22 for 38, 316 yards. Again, those are records for him and as for Barton's revived football program, possibly all time. Big passing day, big day from a lot of receivers. How do you guys build on that? Because that is a huge positive going forward.
Yeah, I think it was a big deal for us. If we're not able to have that success, we're not in that ball game in the fourth quarter at all. So I think it was a huge step in the right direction. We're not nearly as efficient as I want to be when we're throwing it. Having said that, you and I've talked about our play action passing game and how important that is when you get the rushing game going. And so we were able to get some one-on-ones because of that, and we won some one-on-ones. And when you get those man-to-man situations, you've got to be able to win some of those, and won some of those. And then the thing that I was pleased with is that our guys did execute in some drop-back passing situations, and I think that'll give us some confidence going forward. And it also, as teams are trying to defend us, it'll also hopefully encourage them to play us a little more, I guess, conventionally, where they can't put 8 or 9 guys up in the box to stop our run, and that way we can keep the running game active.
Absolutely. It's also key to see guys like Jackson Pearl, Anton Popoff come up with big catches.
Yeah.
You had 4 or 5 guys that made. Paul Durham made a good catch for a touchdown. You can't just throw it off to Cameron Johnson all the time, although he is a really good target for Jaquan Lynch. Coach, we're coming up on the 6th game of or 7th game of the season. We're past the midpoint. You guys are at a crossroads. You're 3-3. You got nationally ranked, unbeaten Wingate, which won 55-7 here in March coming in. You know exactly what to expect from them. The second team you guys have played twice now. I guess Erskine was the first one. You guys know what to expect. What do you expect from your team on Saturday?
Well, something that I think that has been consistent with our team is we have come and we have competed every time out. Now we might have made mistakes, and as a coaching staff and as players and things like that, but I think our guys, they come to play, and it's hard fought and physical. I've got some friends on that staff over there, and I thought they were they told me they were impressed with how our guys competed, and we don't back down. And so I think that's a theme that I'm leaning on this week. I think our guys are anxious to prove that they're a better football team. I think we are a better football team than when we played them last year. Now, having said that, you're playing against the number 8 team in the nation. They're a good football team. They're a great football team, and they're 5-0 because of that, and there are reasons because that they are so good. They run the ball well. They throw the ball well. Their defense is fundamentally sound as any that you'll ever see. They don't beat themselves, and that'll be a challenge for us because we've beat ourselves a couple times, and they're good enough not to need any help. So our guys need to step up this week, accept the challenge. I think we go into this like we go into every week of practice, in that we want to be the best version of ourselves. We want to compete with anyone that we play against, and the focus is on us, not so much our opponent this week, because we got to get better. We've got to have a sense of urgency about getting better and getting better quickly. And in special teams, again, something that I think is something we've talked about today. Huge emphasis this week, because again, great football teams like Wingate, they're going to be very efficient in the kicking game, and you'll hurt yourself, or they'll hurt you if you're not up to the challenge. And I think our guys will be. They'll respond. I feel good about that.
All right, Coach. Well, we will be back here next Tuesday with another edition of Chatting with Chip to talk about the Wingate game, and hopefully that one will go pretty good for you guys. Until next week, we'll see you then.